So we've looked at what is Bitcoin and seen what its potential could be. Now let's look at how it works. And the first thing we'll look at is the blockchain. So we're going to start off by talking about what is a ledger. And a ledger, looks like a regular bank statement, how much money came in, transactions you made, and at the end you have a balance on it as well. And with a centralized service, it's easy to know which ledger do you trust. It's the central authority. If you have a ledger with Bank of America, you trust their ledger. If you have a ledger with PayPal, you trust their ledger. But in a decentralized system, whose ledger do you trust? Well, that's the big innovation with Bitcoin, is this concept called the blockchain. And as you can see on your screen, all these different nodes here, they all have different ledgers. And in Bitcoin, with the blockchain, there's thousands of different computers, all with a copy of the ledger. And each one of them is called a miner. And as they're working together, they're all working really hard, a very energy-intensive process to come up with a mathematical equation, a solution to a mathematical equation. And about every 10 minutes or so, one miner comes up with the solution. And the other part about this is it's really easy to verify. So they come up with the solution, this miner, and then they tell every other miner out there, hey, I came up with the solution. And all the other miners agree, yeah, you did. And in turn, the miner that came up with this solution now has the opportunity to add to the ledger, add more transactions to this ledger. And what they do is they add a new block of transactions. And that's why it's called the blockchain. It's just blocks and blocks and blocks of transactions added to each other. So let's go back and let's look at this blockchain process again. You have all these different miners, thousands of nodes around the world, and they're all working really hard. And occasionally, about every 10 minutes, a new miner will come up with a solution. And this piece of data that they came up with the solution is called a proof of work. And this is really important to note. You got to remember what a proof of work solution is, because this will come in handy when we talk about altchains and altcoins. So this piece of data is called a proof of work, and they share this proof of work to every other miner around the system. And all the other miners agree, yes, this is your proof of work, we agree, and now you have the opportunity to add to the blockchain. So it's very energy intensive, and it's easy to verify. So it's one thing for me to explain how this process works with the blockchain. It's another thing for me to show it to you live. So let's look on my computer here. And you can see here on my screen that this is it. This is the blockchain. This is that exact same process I explained before, a decentralized ledger. And here you can see this is block number 329732. Was discovered about 17 minutes ago by miner Discuss Fish. And in that block of transactions, there's about 851 transactions, which adds up to about, let's put it in dollars, in US dollars, which is about $2.6 million. So let's dig in. Let's see what's actually in this block of transactions. Well, you can see here there's a transaction for $329. There's another one for $778. And this one block of transactions has been added to the blockchain. And another important transaction to note is this first one. You see how there's no input there? Well, this is actually new coins being generated. And Discuss Fish, the miner who discovered the block, is actually being rewarded just over 25 Bitcoin. So it's 25 Bitcoin plus miner fees. Some people will include fees, to ensure that their transaction is included in this block. That's the blockchain here, and you can see these are all different blocks. These include transactions that have been confirmed. They're included into the blockchain, but you can see here there's also these latest transactions, and you can see they're just consistent. They're coming in. These are people pushing transactions to the network. But it's important to know that these transactions, they are not confirmed. There's no guarantee that these transactions will be included in the blockchain. So if we go back, so the ones that are down here, they're not confirmed. And the ones that are in the block here, they are confirmed. And this concept of confirmations is really important to note, because if you're doing a large transaction with somebody, you want to make sure that you wait till your transaction has been confirmed, and not just been confirmed once. So been confirmed once would be it's included in the first block. A second confirmation would mean it was confirmed in the second last block. Third confirmation would mean it's been included in the third last block. And that's really important to note. If you're going to do a transaction for, let's say, thousands of dollars, even more, you probably want to wait about 6 confirmations, which is about an hour. And that way, it's pretty much as good as gold. But if your transaction, if you're doing a transaction for thousands of dollars and it hasn't been confirmed yet, don't give the car. There's no guarantee that the money will go through. So that's the section on the blockchain. That's the section on the blockchain. We've looked at how it works. And the next section, we're going to talk about our miners.